Greetings and blessings, dear friends in the Spirit 111. It is Eddie Luisi. How are you? I am recording this Friday afternoon, like around 2 o'clock. So I am going to read a little paragraph from Saint Bonaventure's Life of Francis of Assisi. Inspired by the Spirit, he went inside to pray. Kneeling before an image of the crucified, he was filled with great fervor and consolation. While his tear-filled eyes were gazing at the Lord's cross, he heard with his bodily ears a voice coming from the cross, telling him 3 times, "Francis, go and repair my house, as you see is falling into ruin. Francis, go and repair my house, which, as you see, is falling into ruin. Francis, go and repair my house, which, as you see, is falling into ruin." So the theme of this talk is renew and rebuild. Renew and rebuild. But before I go into that theme, I gotta have a few shout outs. First shout out is to Robin. Hey Robin, how are you? So last week I gave her a little shout out about her mom, make your mess your message. So the other day on the set of Good Morning America, she gets to the set, 20 minutes before, and she does a couple of live promos. So we're like 4 or 5 feet from each other, and she goes, "Eddie," she goes, "thank you for the shout out last week." I said, "You're welcome, Robin." She said, "You're getting pretty good at this stuff." And I said, "Thanks. I'm actually having fun doing these Friends in the Spirit 111 videos. I'm getting a little bit more relaxed and more my personality's coming out." She said she loved in the beginning when I mentioned about, different things to do and to be more loving or intimate compassion. And I said, "Yeah, I was this morning with my wife." And then I said, stop. We went for a walk. And then I gave a little aside. She said when I gave the little aside, she spit out her coffee. Sorry, Robin. I guess I owe you a cup of coffee. But I wanted to share that with you because Robin Roberts is a dear friend. She's a friend in the spirit, kind, loving, giving woman. And I have the fortunate pleasure to work with her every single day. Been working with her for years. So thank you, Robin. The other shout out, you might not know the man's name. His name is Squire Rushnell. Here's a picture. And I get my thumb. Sorry, Squire. So, according to this, it says, Squire Rushnell is an American author and inspirational speaker and former television executive. His books in the When God Winks series have appeared on the New York Times bestseller list. Notice when I winked, my glasses went down? I didn't plan that. That was cool. Squire was one of the original producers of Good Morning America. So we actually didn't work together, but we became friends afterwards. And I believe he's also the creator of the Magic School Bus. I think that's it. If I'm wrong, I'm gonna fix it later on. But I think that's one of his creations, in addition to many, many other things that he's done. Squire wrote to me. He gave me a little comment last week and says, "Love your ministry." And he said he really loves it around all the birds and nature. So let's be quiet for a second and hear the birds. Just a little bit today. I think there's more in the morning. So thank you, Squire. Quick shout out to you. Another shout out to a friend, Dr. David Anderson. Now, David didn't say anything about Friends in the Spirit, but you better. But long time, I'm going to tell you something about this. I just found out, like yesterday, New York Media Initiative. So, longtime media advisor Dr. David Anderson and veteran media executive Sonia McNair teamed to launch New York Media Initiative, a safe space for encouragement and development designed for media professionals by media professionals. So I already sent him an email, congratulated him, and said, I'm part of this. So whatever you need to do, I'm there to help. The New York Media Initiative is a consortium of media specialists who allocate personalized attention to professionals in television, film, news, digital media, theater, sports, and entertainment. Their alliance provides friendship, mentorship, spiritual encouragement, conscious communications, and leadership development. The organization also presents intimate gatherings and stimulating forums that inspire action. So check that out, all you people in the New York area that's in media and film and theater and all that great stuff. And a reminder, I'm part of the Future Now Media Conference happening May 31st and June 1st. This is for all college and graduate students. Peggy Kim is the founder of that, and she's coordinated in the second year. So great stuff, great shout outs, great stuff. So let's talk about Renew and Rebuild, okay? The first place where I heard that is through the Archdiocese of New York, which is a Catholic organization. The Archdiocese has embarked on a $2 million capital campaign to renew and revitalize our faith communities by providing support to our parishes, clergy, schools, and charities, okay? Basically, I play music at a couple of churches, and I've been in the Catholic Church, you know, my whole life and stuff. So the Renew and Rebuild is basically a capital campaign for the physical structures and to help with the buildings and to help with the sight and the sound of prayer and worship and going to the different churches and the different organizations and schools. It's a wonderful, wonderful thing they're doing. I just want to add a little bit, okay? When I read that thing about St. Francis, build my church, what I was taught, and I could be wrong, I have been wrong a few times, but what I was taught that when Jesus on the crucifix in that church was saying, rebuild my church, St. Francis, the story I heard is he physically got, you know, hammer, nails, and wood and built the church. But Jesus meant build the church, the people, okay? Now, I'm not just talking about the Catholic Church now. I'm talking about all peoples, all religions, all faiths, all spiritualities. Build the church. So part of my videos here is to build the church, build you guys. In whatever church, whatever denomination, if you don't go to church, if you're out here in nature, if you love walking in the woods, the oceans, the parks, church, I think I said it last week, right? Churches in the prisons, churches in the hospitals, churches everywhere you go. Churches in your car, driving down to work and picking up kids and going shopping and food shopping and cooking. Churches everywhere. So let's build that church. Spiritual needs, okay? So I'm going to be a little specific about physical churches now, but the spirituality within them. And if this touches somebody and you're someone in a facility that you could actually take my message and it could help out a little bit, then great. There's a Christian church, the main campus is in Washingtonville, called Grace Community Church. It is a really, really good example of the physical building, the physical parking lot. You walk in, it's a beautiful lobby, there are people greeting you, they have a cafe for coffee and stuff, they have an information desk. You go in, it's a beautiful, beautiful worship space or chapel, whatever you want to call it. A great stage, lighting, monitors, sound systems, great, great speaker, homilist, music. What I love about that, in addition to all that, they have 3 different areas to nurture spirituality. They have a children's area, or anywhere from nursery school up, and it's a whole different wing where there's volunteers that teach the kids. Then they have, I think it's called Gen X. I haven't been there a while, so I'm not sure, but there's a teen room, and it's a worship space for the teens, and it's set up like a cafe with little tables, and there's some games and pinball machines, whatever, on the side, so it kind of looks like a fun area too. But then they have a small stage, and they have a teen worship band and worship leader. So the teens could have their own place to worship by themselves and to enjoy a different style of prayer, worship, thanksgiving. And then they have the main room, which is general, and everybody's welcome inside that. Now, like I said, I've been a Catholic church musician for years, and in the older days, some churches would have a Saturday night service and 4 or 5 services, or mass, they call it, on a Sunday. And a lot of times, you know, there might be a choir, there might be cantors, there might be special groups. But what I think could be really cool, and this could be in all churches, all places of worship, that there is on a Sunday, and not just once a month, but on a Sunday, there's a children's service or children's liturgy where it's brought down, the readings are brought down, and the talk, the sermon, the homilies brought down to the kids' level. And then some type of teen celebration, mass service, where the teenagers could feel comfortable and the music could be hip and the talk could be relevant to the teens. Obviously an adult, you know, general family where everybody's welcome. If you're in a special community or culture, Filipino, Spanish, there's different, you know, gospel type music. There's certain churches that will have a mass that's just for the culture in that neighborhood. And I think that's wonderful. Also in the Catholic Church, I mean, in the old days it was Latin. So, you know, even though I'm a guitarist and I play kind of hip music, I've been traveling with Good Morning America. I traveled around the world, and I used to, on my breaks, travel to different churches. And I would love to find a church in Europe that had a Latin service. It was like, wow, this is really good. But so I think the spiritual needs, in addition to the physical needs, are very, very important, okay? There are some people, I'm going to keep it in general, that give their sermons or homilies or their talks, the word, they break out the word. And sometimes there's readings before, and it's just a recap of the readings. I personally don't need that. I need you to break it open. I need you to make it relevant to me in my life right now, being a family person, working in this times, political times. So I'm asking those of you who give talks and stuff, break it open. Feel your own heart, your own personal, you know, testimonies. What did you go through last week or during the week? You know, just the way I'm talking a little bit here personally. Be personal, you know, when you're at that pulpit or wherever you give that talk. Break it open. Find out the needs of the community. I mean, there are wonderful churches and different places that do different things and do charity work and help out, and that's all wonderful. But yeah, the community, helping out the community, having homeless shelters or having meals or having food pantries, different things to help out others. It's just, that's part of the renew and rebuild too, I think. Renew and rebuild our spirituality, our faith, our love, in sermons, in music, in the mission, in the spirit. You know, when you walk in the door, is it a friendly environment? Are people greeting you? If there's music ministry, is the music playing 15 minutes while people are entering? You know, I've been into some churches where I walk in, and, you know, sometimes you walk into a church and you want it to be quiet and you want to pray, you want to meditate, and there are just people turning around chit-chatting like, you know, they're at a basketball court or something. It's just loud, and it's like, I don't know, I don't get it, you know. So think about that. Think about if you're in charge or you volunteer, or even if you just go in by yourself with your family. Set an example of prayer, worship. If there's a separate room or a separate building where you could chit-chat and catch up with people, that's all fine. Also, I know some churches, some places, they have refreshments or fellowship. Sometimes it's before, sometimes you're allowed to bring it into the church, sometimes it's afterwards. I know in the Catholic churches, sometimes, you know, once a month they'll have, you know, refreshments or fellowship after. But some of these churches just do it after one service. If you have 3 or 4 services, well then the people that go to those other services don't get the fellowship. Who cares about the cup of coffee? Who cares about the bagel? Don't you want to have some fellowship and to chat and talk about your week and get to know and get volunteers? And, you know, because a lot of times you just go into a service or a mass for 45 minutes, an hour and a half, you're done and you go back in your car and that's it. So I think it's important, no matter how many services you have, that if you're having fellowship, it should be for every single one. Okay? It might cost a little bit more money, but in the spirituality mode, in the mission of the church, I think it's going to be a lot better. I usually read from different, you know, Science of Mind or 3 Minutes a Day or Daily Word, but I went through all my stuff and I wasn't really finding anything renew and rebuild. So this is all me. So I thank you, dear friends in the Spirit, for listening. I hope you have a blessed week. Oh, so I'm going to send this out Saturday. So tomorrow's Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all you moms out there, all the deceased moms. My mom and my mother-in-law are both deceased. God bless your souls. All those out there that are struggling or hurting, that might be separated, divorced, God bless you all. Those of you who have children that might be grown up or away or moved out or in college, you know, God bless you all. If you got the little ones at home, you know, great. God bless you too. So have a happy, blessed Mother Day. Please keep me, my family, my ministry in your prayers. Thank you for listening and following. I appreciate you. I pray for you. And don't forget to share your faith with family and friends. I'm just going to pan around here, and I promise I won't pop in like I did the last week, because I know I did that and I scared some of you. And I'm not going to do that again. Okay, have a blessed week.